Alright, what is up, y'all? Welcome back. And today we actually have a little feed video for you. And I say little, but it's gotta be, I have no idea how many snakes we're about to feed off. As anybody knows, if you have a decent sized collection, I say a decent size, but you know, a big collection, small collection, it's a very thin line, and it's all subjective, you know, depending on who you ask. But the most important thing about all of it, or I say the most important, but you know what I mean. The biggest thing is feeding your snakes and your animals in general, no matter what you work with. You know, of course, we have snakes here, so the biggest thing is feeding your snakes. And so your feeders are one of your most important things. And today we're gonna showcase that, just a small little glimpse. We've done it before. We're gonna do it again today. We have to feed a shitload of snakes. So before we get into it though, a big shout out to Marcos at Moonshine Morph Madness and John and his family at Down South Rodents and Northside Morphs. They hooked us up with some rodents. We made a little trip today to go down there and get some. And y'all probably can't even see it behind me, but I have several buckets already. Ready to rock and roll. We got some mice, we got some rats, we got a few ASFs. So I don't know exactly all what I'm gonna show. Of course, you know, getting live feeders, feeding lives on YouTube isn't always the best thing. So I may just show y'all some of the snakes hitting some rodents, and I will try to get a count. So like I said, this is just a small little thing. To us it isn't nothing, but to some people it's kind of like, holy shit, you just fed 80, 100 snakes, something like that. You know, it can be kind of crazy and time consuming. I say time consuming, but especially if you feed frozen thawed, you know, once your collection get to a certain size, and I know some people just like feeding frozen thawed in general because it can be safer, you know, but once you get to a big collection, it's kind of, it's faster, and it's saves on waste. So you don't really want to de-thaw a frozen rat and the snake not eat, and then you just wasted a frozen rat, you know, if you don't have another snake to eat it, you know, especially if you don't come back and check on it for 30 minutes or an hour or something. That rat could almost be spoiled or bad or going bad, you know, and you don't want to take the risk of feeding it to one of your snakes. So of course we feed mostly live, which we do frozen thawed too, but that's every now and then. So don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on frozen thawed at all, because you know, we do feed also frozen thawed, but we feed mostly live. And tonight we are gonna feed, I don't know how many snakes, but I'm gonna get y'all a count, so y'all stay tuned to the end of the video and we'll see exactly how many we actually feed tonight. And I am cleaning rodents tomorrow here at TexasMadeMorphs. I am going to clean some rodents, and I'll probably feed some more snakes, you know, whatever doesn't get fed tonight. So let's see, this video may be a two-part video. So you might see me tonight feeding, and then you'll see me tomorrow feeding a few more maybe. So let's feed some snakes. Alright, like I said, y'all, I'm not going to show them really hitting. I hope that one gets it out of the water. That one hit. This one's still in here. Did we already hit? Did you already eat? Most of them are hitting. Upside down right now. This one's eating. And I am going to feed some hatchlings that y'all just seen in the previous videos. I'm going to go ahead and try their first meal. Of course, I don't expect some of them to eat, but of course some of them may. So we're going to go ahead and try them for the first meals. Alright y'all, we got kind of busy last night. We didn't get to finish feeding everybody. Like I said, it's a little process. If anybody with a decent sized collection knows, it takes a little while to feed. I think I counted 71, 72, something like that. Of course, a lot of them were babies and stuff like that. So I fed 70 something snakes last night. I'm finna feed a lot more, and then I'm gonna get to cleaning my rodents and probably feed some more snakes. So we might actually almost feed everybody in here within today and last night, of course. So before we get to that though, another huge shout out to Marcos at Moonshine Morph Madness for hooking us up with some rodents. Like I said, it's probably the most expensive thing that comes with being in this hobby is your feeders. So it's always a blessing when you can keep up with the demand of your animals and your snakes. Of course, you know, you got to feed them. So big shout out to Marcos and John at Down South Rodents. But yeah, let's feed some more snakes, and then we're gonna clean some rats and then feed some more snakes. I mean, shit. Alright y'all, we got a bunch of snakes eating right now. Alright, y'all, in the great words of Marcos at Moonshine Morph Madness, it is round 3. Round 3 of feeders. We already fed off some little stuff. Got done cleaning the rodents. Gonna feed some more snakes, and I'll get a total count of how many snakes we actually fed since last night. So let's feed some more snakes and see what we got. Alright, y'all, we just got done feeding 183 snakes. Of course, a couple of them got doubled down because a few of the hatchlings did not eat the first meal, which they just got set up in their new snake tubs a few days ago. So we usually wait about a week or two before we even try to feed them, but we had the extra hoppers on hand, so we went ahead and tried them. A few of them did eat, which is really cool, but some of them didn't, so I took the hopper out and gave it to some other snakes. So a couple of them got doubled down, but technically we fed 183 rodents, I would say, I guess. Well, I guess I did write it down in the count. We fed 183 snakes, I guess. A couple of them got doubled down, but pretty cool, pretty exciting. A huge feed. I'll say a day. I guess it has been less than a day. It's been less than 24 hours. And we started last night. We made a long road trip yesterday. Went and picked up the rodents and stuff like that, and came back and fed some, and then finished feeding this morning. And then I cleaned rodents and then fed some more snakes. So technically 3 rounds. I poured a Marcos. Where you at, Marcos? 3 rounds of feeding, but we fed almost 200 snakes. We didn't quite feed everybody in the room. A few of them had just ate. A couple of the bigger snakes had just ate about 10 days ago. So we go about every 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks on them, the breeder females. So I didn't stress about feeding them right now. They can get fed next week or so. And that's about it, y'all. I know it's probably another long video. I apologize if y'all made it this far. I appreciate y'all watching the whole video. Y'all like, comment, all that good stuff that everybody tells you to do. You know, I usually don't say that, so you don't have to if you don't want to. But appreciate y'all watching, and we will see y'all in the next video. And just a disclaimer, I know some people don't like the feed videos. You know, it kind of does, it's not the best for your YouTube and all that stuff like that. I know that. I usually don't do it a whole bunch, but it is part of the business and part of the hobby. You do have to feed your animals. I know you shouldn't really post it and stuff like that, especially feeding lives, but it's part of it. So I mean, if you're gonna breed snakes, technically, but I guess any animals that eat carnivorous animals, you're gonna have it. It's gonna happen. It's part of the game, part of the hobby, part of the business. You know, it's just another day in the business. So I apologize for all you people who don't like the feed videos, but like I said, it's part of it. So anyway, we will see you on the next video.